Plentiful transport to and from London for the commuter. The London Borough of Bromley is geographically the largest of the 32 London boroughs. It stretches east from Crystal Palace to St Mary Cray and south from Mottingham to Biggin Hill, covering in total some 60 square miles. It also has one of the largest populations of the London boroughs. Approximately 300,000 people live in the area. The borough is a place of contrasts. There are highly urbanized parts to the north and west nearest London, light industrial and service industries along the Cray Valley at Biggin Hill and towards Croydon. open farmland. And the wooded hills and villages in the southeast of the borough, a reminder of how the whole area looked little more than a century ago. There is evidence that man came to settle in the area a long time ago. Sites like this one being excavated in Orpington have shown traces of settlements from the Iron Age through to Romano-British man. Chislehurst Caves, some 22 miles of man-made chalk tunnels in the borough, were first mined by the Druids and then the Romans. The Druids erected temples inside the caves, and it is said performed human sacrifices there, whereas the Romans simply mined the chalk as fertilizer for the land.
Fed by an actual spring at that time, but unfortunately during the war they had to fill it in, and you can see since then where it's less than a foot deep. It's not very deep at all these days. Yep.
The area remained largely agricultural throughout the medieval times and was divided into several large estates, such as the Manor of Scadbury, which belonged to the Walsinghams in the Elizabethan era. Sir Thomas Walsingham was said to have had his knighthood conferred upon him by Queen Elizabeth I while she was a guest at Scadbury. The largest landowners in the area throughout the Middle Ages were the bishops of Rochester, who resided in a palace in what is now Bromley Civic Centre. The present palace, which dates from 1775, is now the home of the Borough Council. While the bishops were in residence in Bromley, Bromley itself was still a village, albeit a bustling one. Bromley's market has been in existence since 1204, evidence that even then Bromley was a key shopping centre.
It's quite a heavy one, isn't it?
Throughout the ages, Bromley was a major stopping point for all the coaches going from London to the coast. The many inns served the passengers while horses were changed. It was the coming of the railways which changed the face of the southeast, although it almost ruined Bromley. The first railway went to Croydon. Travellers for the coast took the coach there, thus bypassing Bromley. Trade declined. When the railway did eventually come to the borough in the 1850s, the large landowners made money by selling land around the new stations for residential properties for the new middle class. Shortlands was one of the villages to be built. This kind of development went on right up to the 1930s. Petts Wood was a typical outer London suburb of this era. Thus, by the time one of Bromley's most famous sons, H.G. Wells, was born over a shop in Bromley High Street, trade had flourished again to serve these new communities which had sprung up in the trail of the railway. 47 The High Street was where the author spent his childhood, and he probably modelled his novel Kipps on the daily life of several Bromley stores. The site was quickly turned into a Victorian emporium called Medhurst. Such was the size of the surrounding shopping public. Yet for all this growth and activity in the area, Beckenham, Bromley and Orpington were still regarded as being in the country. Various rest homes had been built for retired folk amongst the greenery. The most famous, Bromley College, was built in the 1600s for the widows of the clergy. Queen Adelaide's cottages in Penge were built in the reign of William IV for the widows of non-commissioned naval officers. And the watermen's almshouses were built in about 1840 for the retired Thames watermen and lighteners. The area seems to have attracted many people who wanted peace and quiet. Charles Darwin spent several years living in the village of Darwin. It was here he wrote his famous book that was to change the world of science, The Origin of the Species.